Here's a game. Dr. Z. Lasker. DZ Lasker. Starts with D4. Okay, well, we'll go for the Nimzo Indian. Or not. He goes with the pin. I mean, I could still play the check. Well, let's ask the bishop what it wants to do there. It wants to take, okay. He gets a lot of pawns in the center. If I play the check now, how does he respond? It doesn't have a dark squared bishop to block it with. It has to block with the knight. And if he had played knight to d2, I could have just taken the d pawn. So if I play knight c6 now, he'll probably play e5, kicking my queen. And then maybe d5. Maybe not. I think I want to play c5 first anyway. There he goes, kicking the queen as predicted. And pushing. Okay, so that's his thing. He has to take back with a pawn. He has to lose a knight. Can't just keep ignoring your opponent the whole game. So what's the best way to do this? Pawn takes. He has to take the bishop. And I could take here hitting his rook. He moves the rook and then I take this pawn. I don't know. Should be okay. So I've managed to win a pawn here. Let's play bishop to b7, maybe trade off his knight and take the e pawn. Well, he's got rook to e2. I shouldn't forget about that. Maybe I should just get castled. And now maybe knight a6 to c5. Let's count. If I give him this pawn back, then I'm still a pawn up, am I not? Knight a6. Well, knight a6 holds on to it for a while, but I still want to play knight c5 and give it to him. So I'll have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll still be a pawn up. And I will have gotten my pieces out. That's what I want. And if he wants to, okay, so he's decided he wants to defend his advanced e-pawn. Let's bring a rook to the center. Don't need to be in a hurry to play knight to c5. It looks like that can happen anytime. So I play here. He's going to take en passant. I can take back. I think it's worthwhile to get rid of that annoying pawn. And if he doesn't take back, then, you know, I would be taking this pawn, I guess. Yeah, so I'm actually still 2 pawns up since I'm holding on to this one, although I don't like this somewhat awkward construction over here. Still, if I'm just winning the end game. Maybe that's the way to play this. Okay, so he didn't want to trade. And he wanted to defend this guy, I guess. Yeah, let's threaten something here. I'm threatening to take his rook with check and then grab the bishop. Also maybe back rank mates. Yeah, DZ Lasker, he played that wacky opening and got a bad position very quickly. So, oh, I have to take back because it's check. So I was wondering if I could actually just mate him there. But it doesn't look like it. Okay, so now he's defending over here. Yeah, I need to get my pieces into the game. I'm just a little worried that if I give up that pawn right away, I just leave this weak A pawn behind. Pawn on A7 and B6. Still, I need to get the rook into the game. So I guess there's nothing to be done but take it. Deal with the consequences later. I don't know, maybe I have some weird discovered attack on the rook, right? If he takes with the rook, I can play knight to E4, but that's not really threatening a whole lot. He just moves his rook. I could move my queen, attacking his bishop. That would be with a tempo, but he just drops his rook back to defend. Okay, he decided to defend the back rank instead. You know, maybe that was an idea here. Instead of moving the knight, when he went here, I could have taken the knight, and then when he takes back with the bishop, it's checkmate. So he had to take with the pawn. That's interesting. Okay, so he went there. Yeah, let's gang up on the bishop. And then you know, I could put this knight on the the C3 square. That might be interesting. And I'm still holding on to that B pawn. I could play A5 there and defending B4. So he brings the queen out, hitting two pawns, hitting the rook. Yeah, let's pause to defend those pawns. I should have gone for the fork right away. knight to c3 was a fork. I saw knight c3 was hitting the queen, but I forgot it was also hitting the rook. Okay, can I move the knight with check? I don't think so. I don't have to move the knight right away. Yeah, I missed my chance. He's making me pay for it. I still can't move the knight because the queen and the rook are coordinating on the EH square. So I have to lift my rook up and then I can move the knight. Well, fortunately the knight's well defended, so I don't have to move it right away. Even if he plays something like knight d2, which he can't play because I'll take it. But even if he could, well, actually he can play that because this queen is on my rook. But I can still play rook to e7 because it's 2 attackers and 2 defenders, the bishop and the rook. So I think I'm okay. Okay, so let's liberate. Let's liberate my knight. It was kind of trapped there. Feeling the pressure. So now knight to c3 is a threat. What now? The threat is knight to c3 once again, which he is ignoring once again. So this time I got it. This time I played it. He has to move the queen somewhere that defends the rook, yeah. And I can take. And what's the simplest thing to do here? Yeah, let's start with harassing the queen. Putting my my queen on this diagonal looks good, but that pawn is defended twice now, so it's not such a big deal at the moment. Yeah, so he's going to come over here and attack g7, I guess. Let's defend that in advance. I want to be here to defend the h-pawn so I can play g7. So I can play g6. He can move with check, hitting my rook. There's a check here and a check here. So I need to go somewhere where I'm not in his sights. Maybe I'll just drop back here. That's probably simplest. He can take there. He can take on h6, true. And now he has to move out of the way. Okay, so whatever I do next, he's going to give me a check. So I need to get something on that square, huh? Shoot. Okay, if I lift this up, it's a check. I move here, he comes in here with a check. I can't tell what's going on. I'm starting to run low on time. Check here, gotta go here. Knight check, I can lift my king up. Okay, he's reintroducing the check here. Can I stop it? Here I can go this way. Because of the pin. He was creating a pin there so that he had that move available to him. Let's just take the rook. Give him the rook for the bishop. I mean, take the knight. Give him the knight for the bishop. Still think I get the knight. Yeah, so he's a very annoying player, but I still think I'm winning here. Now that's good. Gets rid of that weakness there. He's hitting this pawn, but so I've got a check here. It's not a check, rather. He's covering that diagonal. Let's I'm going to bring the rook down here. Set up a check to force a queen trade. There's a check here, here, or here. So he avoids the check by going there. Let's go with the check anyway. He defended his bishop. That's his idea here. So I could take the bishop off now. He takes back with the queen, and then I just start pushing these pawns. See, I could take here first. I mean, what's he going to do? So the bishop is pinned. Let's just defend here. I can check. Actually, it doesn't have any good checks against my king. I'm covering these squares. He goes there to set up some checks. How do I win this? I'm just stepping away from any checks. So now the checks are on this diagonal or from the back row. He has to give up the bishop to do any of those checks. So he goes there. Okay, so let's start pushing a pawn forward. If I just get another another queen, that should tip the tide. Or if I distract his queen enough. So he did find a check. Takes the pawn, though I take the bishop. Okay, so he's looking for more checks. Just marching that pawn down. Okay, so this goes with check. And I get this check. And he resigned. Okay, well, I'm glad that turned out okay for me. It was a bit tricky there at times, but you know, White was clearly playing to lose. So I'll check it out in the postmortem and see you guys later. Bye.